On July 20th, 1969, humanity made history. For the first time, astronauts set foot on the moon, forever changing our understanding of space and what is possible. This was the Apollo 11 mission, a defining moment in the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, and one of the greatest achievements of the 20th century. But the road to the moon wasn't easy. It took years of planning, trials, and technological breakthroughs to make this historic event a reality. Today, we'll explore the incredible journey of Apollo 11, the astronauts behind the mission, and the legacy they left on the world. The Apollo 11 mission wasn't just an accident of good fortune. It started with a bold vision. Back in 1961, President John F. Kennedy challenged the nation, declaring that the United States should aim to land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the decade was out. At the time, the idea seemed almost impossible. The space programs were still in their infancy, and the United States was in a race with the Soviet Union to dominate space. But Kennedy's call inspired a nation and pushed NASA to develop the technology, the training, and the teamwork necessary to reach the moon. Kennedy's challenge led to a new focus on the space program, culminating in the Apollo missions. Before Apollo 11, NASA had already completed successful missions through the Mercury and Gemini programs, which helped refine crucial techniques for space travel. These missions prepared astronauts for long-duration flights and gave engineers the knowledge they needed to make Apollo 11 a reality. Fast forward to July 16th, 1969. Apollo 11 was ready to launch from Kennedy Space Center in Florida aboard the massive Saturn V rocket, the largest and most powerful rocket ever built at the time. The crew of Apollo 11 included Commander Neil Armstrong, Lunar Module Pilot Buzz Aldrin, and Command Module Pilot Michael Collins. Each astronaut was highly trained and incredibly skilled, but the mission was still an enormous undertaking. Armstrong, a seasoned test pilot, was selected to be the first man on the moon, while Aldrin, a brilliant scientist and astronaut, was chosen to join him on the lunar surface. Collins, though not stepping onto the moon, played a crucial role in the mission by piloting the command module, which remained in lunar orbit while Armstrong and Aldrin landed on the surface. After a successful launch, Apollo 11 embarked on its three-day journey to the moon. The astronauts traveled over 240,000 miles, and during that time, they communicated with mission control, performed checks, and prepared for the lunar landing. There was no turning back now. As Apollo 11 neared the moon, the crew faced their biggest challenge, landing on the lunar surface. Armstrong and Aldrin entered the lunar module, named Eagle, and began their descent. The moon's surface was covered in dust, craters, and rocks, and finding a safe landing spot was not easy. They encountered some technical difficulties as they descended, including a navigation issue that made them steer away from their original landing site. Armstrong famously took control of the lunar module, manually guiding it to a safe landing site in the Sea of Tranquility. As the Eagle touched down, Armstrong's words would go down in history. "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." It was July 20th, 1969. Humanity had finally reached the moon. A few hours after landing, Neil Armstrong prepared to make his historic first step onto the moon. The world watched in awe as Armstrong descended the lunar module ladder and stepped onto the dusty surface of the moon. As he did, he spoke the now iconic words, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." Buzz Aldrin soon joined him, becoming the second person to walk on the moon. The two astronauts spent a total of about 2 hours on the lunar surface. They also planted the American flag on the moon, making a bold statement of human achievement. After a journey that lasted about 4 days, the Apollo 11 crew re-entered Earth's atmosphere. On July 24th, 1969, they splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean, where they were quickly recovered by the USS Hornet. The success of Apollo 11 was celebrated worldwide. The mission proved that humans could travel to the moon, land, and return safely. Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins became international heroes, with their names forever etched in the history books. In the years that followed, NASA conducted several more moon missions, and the legacy of Apollo 11 continues to inspire space exploration today. The mission also sparked a renewed interest in science and technology, reminding us of the power of ambition, collaboration, and the human spirit. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more.